everyone. I'll be in charge to explain all the works we are doing with me and my father Francesco and my mother Scilla. I apologize in advance for my English. I'm doing the best I can. If sometimes I will buffer, like it's like I'm searching the words in my mind and trying to react. So I apologize in advance for my English, and maybe sometimes just a couple of things. Maybe sometimes Francesco will be join in the conversation while I speak. Maybe to tell something to add at in my presentation, probably in Italian, and then I will translate you what we're trying to say. Okay. So if we are ready, thank you, Francesco, for sharing your computer, and we would like to start with a little presentation, with a little PPT of our story. What you see here, it's us. It's Scilla, Daniele, and Francesco. We work together as a family, and we're just three. I'm an only child, so we're just three. And we try to make a little joke, the family Kamishibai. You know that there's a little piece of story of Kamishibai where the family Kamishibai was invented. They were very little, and they were used to in the house for children. And we like this joke that we are a family Kamishibai. So hope it's fun to you also, not for us Italian, not only for us Italian. And that's briefly our stories. When avanti, Papa, can you go straight ahead with the next one? And we as usually we like to start from the finish, and that's the name of our project, KAMITEATER, that in Italian means Kamishibai, Teatro and Ricerca. So Kamishibai, theater and research. Why that is that the name of our project? Because we born as a theater family, especially, or for example, my mother and my father, they are both illustrators and art and visual artists. And but in many years by years, we went through the experience of theater. After that, as I was like 9 or 10 years old, I joined them with this adventure in the theater world, and then they started in the early 80s to act as actors and cabaret shows, and to make some shows, some performance about Italian, Neapolitan, and theater, but also a lot of type of theater. Then in years, we discovered the commedia dell'arte tradition and the mask tradition. So we're talking about Arlecchino, Pulcinella, Pantalone, Colombina, Balanzone, all the traditional commedia dell'arte, and after that Carnival mask of traditionally of Italy. That went through all the world. So what we try to do is that in many years, starting in 2020 with 2021, sorry, with the COVID emergency, we start to study about this fantastic form of performing that was the Kamishibai, the Japanese theater play. And we discovered it many years before, but then the COVID gave us a lot of time in our house. So we with this plenty of free time, we started to study and to research about what was the Kamishibai, what can it be the Kamishibai in Italy, and how was the possibility, what was the possibilities of Kamishibai, not only for performers but also for educational purposes. So we started to train, to study, and to make our first little performances, and also write our own stories, as Japanese like to say, the tezukuri Kamishibai. So we started to make our own stories, and we also perform our own stories, but we like usually to start with Japanese stories, because I think we think that's the real tradition of Kamishibai. So continuing in our research in the Kamishibai, our question was, how can the theater and the Kamishibai performances, these both performances that are so different but have some links together, how can we can try to make them in one? So how Kamishibai and theater can be just one thing, and what can be the something, a real purpose, or a real thing that can respect the tradition of Italian commedia dell'arte theater, and also Kamishibai. Starting from that, we continue to research, and we went to some schools, libraries, and many other places to perform our stories and the Japanese traditional stories. We built our own Kamishibai table, as you can see in these photos, and also as you can see in live behind me and behind Francesco. And we try to let the masks, the no mask theater, but also the Balinese theater, the Balinese mask theater, as you can see in this photo, try to have a life in Kamishibai stories. The masks not only speaks through our body, but also through the hands of me and Francesco. And for example, as you can see here, we are telling the story of the Yamamba, the Japanese Yamamba. As you can see in the left photo, there's Francesco with the Yamamba completely transformed in a demon with this red mask, and on the other hand, is holding an ancient no mask of a ancient sage. So if you have any questions, just feel free to interrupt me. And this is the moment that the old man is speaking to the Yamamba, hiding his student. On the other photo, on the photo of right, we have the Yamamba just speaking to the child, but not completely transformed, and he's using a traditional an Anya mask. So Francesco, if you want to get on with the video, we have like a small video of
è facile trasformarsi in qualcosa di grande. Ma che vuoi dire? Voglio dire che è facile trasformarsi in qualcosa di grande. Saresti veramente forte se ti trasformassi in qualcosa di piccolo. Piccolo? Sì. Quanto piccolo? Piccolo. Piccolo. Vabbè, ti farò vedere che mi posso trasformare anche in qualcosa di piccolo. Disse altre. Via che addosso che spaccavano le colline, brandellavano, rompevano le capanne.
In this moment is performing the Momotaro story.
Distrutto tutto il villaggio, randellato tutte le capanne e portato via tutto.
The Onis, when he gets. So finally, in our research and in our work with masks and with theater, the question was always the same: how can the theater, the commedia dell'arte theater, and the Kamishibai can have a link in all of this? And so in one of these Kamishibai meeting on Zoom, we saw that we saw that a big butai, a very big butai. And this when we said Eureka, and we said that's the way we are making it. That's the way how Commedia dell'arte, our theater, our traditional theater, and the Kamishibai can link. This was the missing link between the two things in our research. So if you will go on, Francesco, please, with the next one, with the next photo. As you can see here, you can see some traditional Commedia dell'arte stage. They're making in wood. They're made by woods, and there's some tents, and also a small triangle on the top, as also the butai, the traditional Japanese butai has. Go home, please, Francesco. And this one, for example, was me and Francesco performing a Commedia dell'arte show at the Carnival of Venice just 1 month ago. And as you can see, the traditional Commedia dell'arte stage have rules. It has all the same shape, all the same material, all the same colors. As you can see, the brown wooden, and the back is red, and as a structure that repeats in every Commedia dell'arte stage, because there is a very big tradition. Also, speaking about the butai, that is very traditional and has some rules to respect. And if you want to go on, Francesco, please, with the presentation. This was the project we made on digital, on the computer, to make our own big butai, and the butai upon a stage of Commedia dell'arte, all made by wooden. Can you please go on, Francesco? This is the making process. This butai, how's the size of this butai, Francesco? 1 meter
for 1 meter for 1 meter and a half.
1 meter and a half for 1 meter, and this was the result. And this is the stage and the butai we're bringing to every KAMITEATER show. And this is the butai open with the wide open and the story in it. Also, the story must be very, very big to fit in this butai. And for example, this was the first story we told in Italy with our KAMITEATER butai, and it was the story of Babar, the small elephant. And here, for example, we were performing this story at the Sferisterio in Macerato, the city where we live. There is a theater for opera, and this was a project for the primary school children about Babar. And as you can see, it's not only our stage, our wood stage, and the big butai, but as you can see, beside and at the left and at the right of the butai, we have just also a bit of scenography. For example, here there's on the left there's the jungle, on the right there's the city. That's quietly, most in a nutshell, the story of Babar, that is going from the jungle to the city. If you want to get on, Francesco, please.
This is a video of our performance in a theater, Lauro Rossi, always for the MOF, that is a Macerata Opera Festival, where we perform the story of Babar on a stage, on a theater stage.
Ora che ci siamo presentati, non ci resta che cominciare. Siete pronti? Signore e signori, bambine e bambini, le avventure di Babar l'elefantino. Nella grande festa è nato un elefantino. Il suo nome è Babar. La mamma gli vuole molto bene. Tutti i giorni fa un giretto con l'automobile che gli ha regalato la vecchia signora. A Babar piace molto girare per la campagna e costeggiare il fiume. Arturo e Celeste sono entusiasti della grande città e non credono ai loro occhi. Dopo una lunga passeggiata, Babà li porta dal sarto a comprare dei bei vestiti alla moda. Un bel vestito fiorettini del celeste e un completo da marinaretto per l'artico. Sono davvero eleganti. Poi tutti e tre vanno in pasticceria a mangiare dei buonissimi dolci di cui papà è davvero lieve. Per fortuna, il vecchio Marabù li vede mentre sta volando sulla città e corre ad avvisarli. Le mamme del celeste partono per cercare una città. Dromedari, ippopotami, giraffe, gazzelle e leoni, serpenti, scimmie, struzzi e porcospini. Tutti in pace ed armonia festeggiano il matrimonio di Babà e Celeste e la loro incoronazione.
As you can see, the actor of the Kamishibai also go not only behind the butai, but also in front of it, using the masks of the characters of the story. Everything is made even better with the live orchestra music. Francesco, can you please show the making of the big butai, because someone didn't see all the photos. Yeah, as I told before, this was the project, the digital project. Or it was just like an idea, because even after that became completely different. This was the first construction. This was the first proof. After that, the very interesting thing about this stage is that fermati un attimo, papà. The very interesting thing about this stage is that it's made of the behind the part at the bottom with a wood chain, and that we have two big pieces on the left and on the right, and a small piece, a small little stage in the center. This small little stage, we are using it when we just use the regular butai. And for example, sometimes we can use just one of the two big pieces, or maybe two of them, or just the two of them without the smalls at the center. That's the interesting thing, as the commedia dell'arte tradition, that not all the stage and not all the squares we're going to perform our KAMITEATER stories is the same, and all are of the same area, the same measure. So it's that we try to manage the space by using one or all the three pieces. Can you please go on, Francesco? I will answer of a question from Tara. Is Francesco adding new or improvised conversation to the story with the masks, or is just performing the story as it reasons? Well, this is like a commedia dell'arte secret. No, I'm just joking. Well, usually we know what to say, and we have like a script of all the story we're performing. But sometimes, as the situation drive us into the story, we like to improvise something and add new pieces to the performance and to the story, as a commedia dell'arte actor tradition. Not everything for example, not every performance we do is equal to another. Everything and every time changes. Every time there's a new different piece, and if we like that piece we had in that moment, it becomes like a staple of the show. Scilla is my mother and his wife. And for example, in the video you saw before, it was the girl who was reading the story of Babar, and also she makes with us the KAMITEATER shows and performances. But for example, she's Scilla and Francesco. I was in the back of the butai, sliding the images. Can you please go back for a second, Francesco? This, for example, was, as you can see at the bottom, Masca Marche. It's our own festival that we organize in the Marche region about commedia dell'arte. And the last year, in the 2024, what we made is put into the very big list of shows. You have to know that the Masca Marche Festival is about 10 days of commedia dell'arte show. But last year we decided to put it into the program, to put into the big list of commedia dell'arte shows, also our own KAMITEATER show, with our stage, with our butai, on a square place, on a square stage. Sorry. And this was our presentation. Usually we call that with that story Fuga in Maschera, and we are reading two stories: the Yamamba with the Japanese mask at the beginning, and after that we're reading the Fuga in Maschera from it's a story of commedia dell'arte masks from Gianni Rodari. Here, for example, you can see the Yamamba and the old man with the Japanese embal in his mask, and on the other side, Pulcinella, with Pulcinella on the back image, with the pizza and the spaghetti, also very Italian. But this, can you please go back for a second, Francesco? This photo, this image, I think is the final point of our research. The Italian commedia dell'arte tradition and the Japanese Kamishibai tradition finally links into one final big project. And this is what we tried in the years, in many years, to research, to make it really perfect and really the way we would like to do it. So Japanese tradition on a hand, and the Italian on the other hand. And that is the essence of KAMITEATER, of our KAMITEATER. That's the real essence. There's also a little showreel of our Masca Marche project. Lecchino, Pulcinella, Bobbina. And that is she's Scilla, for the one we're asking, and usually what the work of Scilla, my mother, and his wife, is in some particular in some particular situation, because she liked to link the performance and the educational purposes for children, and for example, telling stories at the Kamishibai. Here we can see she was telling the story of Babar, but also we made the the Petit Prince by Saint-Antoine d'Exupéry. We made also a story of him in Kamishibai with the KAMITEATER, and she usually works with children with autism and ADHD disease, as if we like to say that. And but not only she links the educational purposes and the performance purposes of Kamishibai. She also is an expressive artist, and all the can you please go back in the yeah, as you can see, this butai is inspired by Jackson Pollock, and that's the work she made with his guys and his children, her guys and her children. That all the colors can mix together, and they are as one. So she also links the visual artist project to the educational purposes and the performance purposes. And can you please go on to the next slide? As you can see, also the mask made by children, because we don't just use our own masks, but we make children build their own mask of stories that they are reading. For example, at the right, you can see a Momotaro mask made all by paper from a child. And can you please go on? Here, there's the story of the Petit Prince from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. And finally, we arrive at December of 2024, December. Kamishibai, che spettacolo. Kamishibai, what a show. Also, this is an Italian joke. And it was an event with shows, performances, demonstration of 3 days in a small city here in the Marche region in Italy, where the main part was an exhibition about the story of Kamishibai. Not only the story of Japanese Kamishibai, where we talk about the Emakimono, the Tokien, the Edo period, and also the propaganda Kamishibai, but the story of our work with Kamishibai. So if you can please go on, Francesco. There's a little showreel. This was Tara.
Non usano l'alfabeto, ma usano questo.
That's our private collection of historical Kamishibai and butais and yoshigi and so on. The family Kamishibai and the original drawing of Fuka in Maschera. our Kamishibai bike. And at the end of this exhibition, that was pretty for children of primary school, this is our masks. There was also a little show from me and from Francesco telling the Japanese stories in this beautiful colored room.
Mi sei confuso stamattina.
I will answer some questions. It's very curious about the Hindi word, the maska marke. It's very curious. In our language, maska is the ancient way to say maschera, mask in Italian. Well, maska is Sanskrit, I think, and marche is Marche region, our region. But with the K instead of the C and H. It's like a word joke. Well, the mask we use, the wooden mask, for example, the Japanese and Balinese wooden mask, we buy them because we also, why I specifically say the wooden mask, because we are also some mask crafter. We make our own mask, but we work with leather. So the leather mask and the papier mâché, the paper mask we use, we make by our own. But the wooden mask, we buy them from Japan, from France, and from Bali. So this was a little open door to our KAMITEATER project. And I once again apologize for my bad English. I was trying to tell all the word that was in my mind, but in English and not in Italian. And I hope everything is clear, and our passion, our love, and the purpose of our research between theater and Kamishibai. So thank you very much.
I think it was very clear. Thank you, Daniele and Francesco. It was fascinating how you explained Commedia dell'arte and Kamishibai. Do you want us to maybe, I could take the spotlight off of you and then people could ask more questions, or did you want to perform a story, Daniele?
Maybe we can perform a story. I don't know if Francesco would like to start by having a little of demonstration of how he used masks in Kamishibai performances, and maybe me or him are going to tell a story. I don't know how much time we have left, but we'll manage something. We arrange something.
We have plenty of time.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, we have at least 15 minutes and then half an hour for questions. So you can perform and then we can go to discussion.
Perfect.
So I can show the story, the mask I have. You see in the video, this is a Balinese mask, and I use it for the story of Yamamba, no? And if I wear a mask with the other one, I perform with the hand, okay? And and I talk to I make the voice of the two the characters in the story with my talking first with the mask and then with the other. And this is a way to take the story out of the butai. While in the butai there is the image of the story, the cards of a Kamishibai story. Some characters of the story becomes alive with the mask, and I come out of the butai and I take the stage, the front of the stage, and this is how Daniele tells in his presentation. Our aim is to link our theater experience with our Kamishibai passion. So the two things together could be for us our way of experience and make our own way to perform Kamishibai. And in our show we put together Japanese tradition and commedia dell'arte just to find a link between two different culture, but for us it can the Kamishibai is very wonderful for that, because it's a way to communicate between us. So also our traditional culture can talk each other and try to find one way of communication. This is our idea about our KAMIEATER.
I have a question about how familiar are Italian children with commedia dell'arte? Is that something that is just everybody knows about, or do you have to introduce both to your audience?
Well, speaking about, there's a little bit of fortune talking about that the commedia dell'arte masks also came into the carnival tradition. So the children know the commedia dell'arte mask for carnival, not for commedia dell'arte. But when you for example, when you explain to children, okay, so today we are going to see a commedia dell'arte show, they say, what's commedia dell'arte? You say, you know Arlecchino, you know Pulcinella, you know Colombina. They say, okay, the carnival mask. This was because in an historical moment the commedia dell'arte shows was forbidden in all of Italy, and in many years the theater purpose, the performance purpose of commedia dell'arte tradition just went into something of foolish of the carnival. So today the children recognize Pulcinella and Arlecchino for his carnival tradition, which is okay because we have a common grounds. And I don't know, maybe for example in Japan there's the Tengu mask, or maybe the Oni. Everyone knows about the Kappa, about the Oni, about the, some traditional figures. In Italy, we have Pulcinella, we have Arlecchino, we have Pantalone, we have Balanzone. So we have common grounds with children. They know what we're talking about. Just they need to know when we talk about commedia dell'arte, some few things in addiction, in more of where we're talking about of carnival. So yes, they recognize them as carnival mask, or for example, just as masks of or a character of Italian tradition.
Okay, thank you.
Can I add something?
We have a question. Just one moment. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to say thanks, because it's really amazing what you are doing, and I think it's not just the link between Italy and Japan. It's the link with all over the world, because you are using masks coming from all over the world. So this is very interesting. And about the commedia dell'arte, because I'm French, but I grew up in Italy, so I want to. That's why I was writing in Italian. I wanted just to add that commedia dell'arte was also a way of expressing from poor people and people who was struggling, and it was a way of laughing about that. And it was very important at that time that Pulcinella was someone who was beating the policeman. So it was a very revolutionary person. I mean,
Yeah.
person. And that is important to add, because I think it's great that in this period of what happened all over, that the renaissance of this person is amazing. I really appreciate that. And no, I don't have question. It's just fantastic.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well,
in these days we need a lot of Buccinella.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
There was a quote from an Italian writer that said that with mask, when you are a mask, not when you're wearing a mask, when you are a mask, when you are a character, you can say anything you want. You can say anything you want, always telling the truth, even if you're not telling the truth. So,
Exactly.
So that was the that was the purpose probably of Commedia dell'arte. And today, if we think about the period Commedia dell'arte grew up, there was something in Europe and especially in Italy very confusionary, and the power of people of the very we call it low people against the power, the real power, the clerical one, the money one, the economic one. It's the real strength of the way of communication of Commedia dell'arte. That's so that's the point. So thank you very much, Manu Bleu. I don't speak French, so Manu Bleu, for notice that and for appreciate that. So, and we also appreciate your intervention. Thank you very much.
The leather mask we built for Commedia dell'arte. This is Arlecchino. This is Pulcinella.
That's the mask we are building in leather.
Wow.
So the Commedia dell'arte mask we built on our own, and the Japanese and the Balinese we buy. And another question: do you involve the audience in conversation with the mask? Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
Absolutely,
the art is a basic, a continuous conversation between the performer and the audience, and so this is a very interesting way to perform. And a lot of times in our shows of Commedia dell'arte, but also of KAMITEATER, we involve the audience in the story, in the dialogues, in question and answers, and or perhaps singing together with a little song. So it's very important for us to involve the audience in our shows.
I just want to say also thank you to Walter for appreciating our Masca Market works. You are all invited to the next Masca Market if you would like. You're all invited to Italy to see the Masca Market Festival, and yes, that was the point. And so thank you very much for appreciating that. Okay, so I think I'm in charge of performing. Well, I will perform a very short story about colors. It's a story we usually that wrote Francesco, and also illustrate, draw, and paint Francesco. It's a story about the theory of colors. Usually. Well, the title is in Italian. I will read it in Italian, but I will explain you before the story how it is. The story is called "Sei come sei." Literally in English, it's "You are how you are." But if you would like to translate it, the dates of Masca Marche, if everything goes well and good, it's in the first 10 days of August every year. We hope that. So I was saying, if we would like to translate in a proper way, sai come sei, we could say you are just the way you are. Okay. We also use it as a little joke, because sai come sei is written with 6 come 6, because it talks about the 6 colors, and the sei is also the to be verb in Italian. So sei is 6 and you are in Italian. So you are the way you are. Usually we use that as an excuse to talk about the colors, the primary, the secondary, the tertiary, and the complementary colors. And so we show that image in at the beginning of the Itten circle, as the theory of colors of Itten teaches us. So as we can see, there's the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, and then the secondary colors. So red and yellow makes orange, the blue and yellow makes green, the red and blue makes purple, and so on. So that's what we show at the beginning and at the end of the story, because there's also a little work to do with children that I will show you after the performance. And now I don't have my yoshigi with me, because probably they're in a bag. They don't need to be. They don't have to be in that bag. But I also use them in my theater laboratory with youngsters and with people, and I use them as a traditional instrument. And I think is in the theater. They are in the theater. So today I will use a traditional Chinese gong. So if I say like this, everybody can see it?
Yep, that looks good.
Perfect. So I will count till 3, and then we'll start. You ready? Everyone's ready?
Yep.
So in this story, we're telling the story of Red. Red is a little red dot that lives in the red city with red friends, with red houses, with red landscapes, and every red tells itself that he's the best red, that he wears the best red, that his red is more shiny than the others. But one day, this little red dot, goes in a beautiful landscape near the barriers of the yellow city. Here he meets Yellow, and Yellow starts to drip him with his color. And at first, Red says, "What are you doing? You're dirtying me. You're dirtying me with your color." And Yellow says, are you sure you're dirty of yellow? Or maybe you're colored of yellow. And then from their meeting, borns and came up the Orange. Orange told them how he was born, that he was born from a meeting between them. That's only in the meeting of people that there's the real essence of life, the real meaning of life, and the meaning of peace and friendship. But then, beside of red, yellow, and orange, there will be many characters, and but you will see them. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's begin. Sai come sei, you are the way you are, or how the colors create the rainbow. To start, we're talking about Isaac Newton. We know that the rainbow is made of 7 colors. That's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, lilac, and purple, violet. But really, we know that there are by the Eaton circle there are 6 the colors. So we said before the red, the yellow, the orange, the blue, the purple, and the green. So there was the 3 primary colors and the 3 secondary colors. But how did 6 colors create the rainbow? We're going to discover that later. Nel paese dei rossi, this is red. Nel paese dei rossi, dove tutto era rosso, where everything was red and where only red lives, there was red. Red, that was every part of them was red, and with all the other reds was having a little walk in the red land. Oh, there was a red that said, I'm the best red. The other red said, my red is more shine than the others. But the other one said, I am the reddest of the reddest of the reddest of anyone. Io sono il rosso più rosso di tutti. And there was another one that was yelling at everyone that he was the most red of everyone. And the other one was telling, no, I am the reddest of anyone. And said, yes, but I am more shiny and more smart than the other red ones. But Rosso Red was looking at all of them, and he was a little bit annoyed and said, we are only red. Pensava che erano tutti quanti solamente dei rossi, and he didn't understand of how this yelling, how this envy, how come. And so when he was thinking about that, when Red was thinking about all this yelling and all this hate behind her similar, behind his similar, behind the Reds, he was also thinking, why all these Reds were such Reds? Why? So he had a little walk on his own and came into a little beautiful landscape. And so he met Yellow. And Yellow was running at him so very fast. Fermati, fermati, stop, urlò Rosso. Don't you see this is the red land? And so, answered Yellow, that was very much impertinent. And so, if you come here, said Red, you will endirty all our red land of your yellow. I will endirty you, said Yellow, or most probably I will color you of my yellow. And so, how in the moment they were speaking, there was Yellow that ran through the red land, and so that's what he did. Help! 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 I'm whole yellow! And so Rosso was yelling at Yellow that was laughing and laughing. Are you help! Help! Aiuto! Someone help me! So Red tried to follow the Yellow, and so that's what happened. Rosso e Giallo si erano sporcati, uno di rosso e l'altro di giallo. Giallo guardò Rosso e gli disse, vedi? You see, I'm a bit red too, and you are a bit yellow. So, in a moment, Red looked at Yellow, and he was very, very calm, very clear. E vide that his color, his red color, that there was a little different. And so in that moment, Red was very, very different from the other Red. Pensarci bene, it was not that terrible that he was a little yellow. In a world full of red, in un mondo pieno di rossi, you will be unique because you will be a little bit yellow. And in a world full of yellow, I will be unique because I will be a little bit red. And so In the moment they were talking, splash! Who are you? Well, what's that question? I'm orange. And so, where do you come from? Red and yellow tell to orange. Well, I was born from your meeting, because it's the meeting of people, the meeting of colors that make born new things, new thoughts, new emotions, and new words. And so, splash! Suddenly, a big blue dot came into them. And so, red and yellow and orange were looking at each other, and blue said, "I'm so sorry. I'm really so sorry. I don't know how to do this. I was just running, and then I was falling, and I'm so sorry. I'm dirtying you with all my blue, and you're a bit blue." But in that moment, red and yellow said, "But we are all a bit blue. We are all a bit yellow. We are all a bit red. Are all a bit orange. But we are unique. There's no one like us. We are very different from everyone." And so, look at that. In a moment, there were also green and purple. There was walking. They were having a little walk through the land. And they said, "Oh, probably our moment has come. For now, as now, we can bring into the conversation with other colors. Probably they were waiting for us," said red and purple. And so, in the end, all the color made a really big circle. Everyone was schizzati. Everyone had a little bit of the other color. Every red was a little bit blue, but also a little bit red, but also a little bit orange. And so everyone was unique and different from their similars. And so Viola asked, "But how can everyone be like us, happy and in peace with others?" And yellow tell them, by meeting them, by talk with them. And so if everyone will give a hand to the other one, if everyone will turn a hand to the other, maybe all the world will be in peace, and all the world will be unique. All the world will be a little more colorful. And so everyone said, "That's a really big idea, Yellow. That's the most beautiful idea you ever had." And so what they say, that these 6 colors said they will go all over the world to schizzare, to schizzare all the other colors, to make them unique and have new meetings and create new emotions and create new stories and create new meetings and new boundaries. And that was the 6 colors that gone on adventure from all over the world. And nowadays you can see them. But where we can see them? By looking at the sky in the rainbow. That's all where all the 6 colors are today, looking at how unique they made this world. Thank you very much.
Bravo.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to take the spotlight off of you, Daniele, so we can answer a few more questions that are in the chat, and we can have a discussion. Okay. Thank you for that beautiful story. And
I had a little bit of emotion while reading this. So there was some silent moments, I know, but I was really in emotion. Sorry.
Well, originally you were going to tell it in Italian. I'm glad you mixed English in there for all of us. Okay, thank you. Yeah, does anybody have further questions? Let me chat. I know there were a few that came up while you were talking. Oh, do you sell your story? So do you mean this particular story, Manupra, or
All
any
of them. I mean,
all of?
yeah. Is he sharing with other people?
So do you sell your stories?
At the moment, no, no. They are Estelle Daniele Tezukuri. We know we learned this Japanese word Tezukuri. We have the copy for us, for Daniele, for me, and for Scilla. And at the moment, we don't sell it, but perhaps this one, Sei Come Sei, will be published in the next month in an Italian editor. Perhaps it could be.
So just to
We
explain that tezukuri means handmade. And in Japan, there is a movement called the Tezukuri Kamishibai movement where people make their own kamishibai by hand. So they sometimes get published, but for the most part, they're just handmade original stories.
in the first day of January, we met in Osaka, the Tezukuri Association with Tamayo, I think it's the name. I don't remember, but I think so, Tamayo. It was a very wonderful meeting in Osaka with them, and we visited the Tezukuri Association, and we stay with them a day, a full day, and we see also a performance of Tamayo. It was a very interesting meeting in Osaka in the first day of January.
Mm-hmm. So actually, the second video in our series that I have to upload, and maybe some of you came to that event, we had Tamayo, or Tama-chan is the name she uses, and Kiman-san, who co-founded the Handmade Kamishibai Association Center in Osaka. So soon, when we get that available, you can hear more about their activities.
I forgot a little part of the story. I told you at the end we were making some activities about this story with children, and this is what we're doing with them, because they have to take the colors with their own finger. Thank you. I'm in emotion too. Emotional. I'm a bit emotional now, and they have to color all the dots with red and with yellow, and then with blue, with all different fingers. And here they have to create the secondary colors by here making the two colors that making the secondary. So, for example, the red and the blue making the purple, and so on. At the end, or also the complementaries, but at the end, they have to create their own color. So by putting three colors, they will create one and give them their own name. After that, they will have all painted fingers. That's the real the real greatness of this activity. That the fact that they have all the painted fingers, or everyone of a different color.
And when we paint the first finger in yellow and the second in red, and when they mix together and they see that orange will comes out, it's like something magic for the children. That the yellow and the red one mixing is creating orange. We do it with the little children in the primary school, but also in the in 4th or 5th years. And when they see that mixing the two fingers, the yellow one and red one, is they becomes orange. It's for the little children is a kind of magic. It's very wonderful to see their expression when a new color comes out.
Thank you, Francesco. Sorry, I didn't have you spotlighted there until right at the end. Okay, thank you so much. That was a lovely story and an activity, and I think we have a few more questions in the chat. So I just put into the chat how to spell Kejikuti, and their website. Also, everyone's saying what a fantastic, wonderful story it was. Okay, I'm going to.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, I'm going to unspotlight you again. Oh, unless Francesco, are you going to show us something?
Yes, this is the story with our story with the Italian mask. You see, and it's a story of three puppets that runs away from. Daniele, racconti tu un po' in breve.
Yeah, the three puppets for Pulcinella, Arlecchino, and Colombina are running away from their puppeteer, and there's the presentation of the masks of Pulcinella, Arlecchino, and after that there's Colombina. But one day they try to escape from his puppeteer because he's like a very bad man, and one day. A little mice come into their room and start to hit all the cords, all the ropes that bound them, and so they run away. They escape from the puppeteer and they begin an adventure. In this moment, they try to pass a river. In a moment, a little fish will help them, Salomone. So they go on this big fish and pass on the river. So on, they sleep in the forest because they're finally free, and they don't have to be hung on the ropes. And in a moment, they hear some noises, and these noises was a little bird that was in a cage and was asking for help. After that, they try to free the bird. That will and he will say to them that they are friends, his friends, and that he will help them when they need most. And after that, they come into a forest where there was a marriage between two two birds, Gennaro and his wife. They eat very much, from salami to turkey to gelato and spaghetti and polenta and cakes. And for the marriage, they make a little show on their own without puppeteer. But in this moment, his puppeteer find them and put them in a cage because he found them and try to get them back. After that, the bird know what the puppeteer did to them and was asking Salomone and Gennaro the bear to help him to free his friends. And Gennaro gets really, really, really angry. And yeah, at this point, the puppeteer tells them, "You will be on the stage to perform a show, but with your own ropes. You will not be free ever and ever." And so the the bird gets very angry with the puppeteer and try to run and follow him. And so the puppeteer was very scared, and the bird take them by the ropes and free them another time. And so finally, Pulcinella, Arlecchino, and Colombina are really free to perform their show and to make people learn about how it is very fantastic being free and live in peace with the world.
Lovely. Thank you. Was that a story that you created? Is that who painted the illustrations for that?
There was a young artist that we are working with. Her name is Aurora Paccasassi and is a visual artist and comic artist. And yeah, we told her the story and we asked for the illustrations.
Wonderful. Thank you. for sharing that. I'm going to take the spotlight off you again, so everyone can share any ideas or questions they have. Let me see. Spotlight. Okay, so if anybody has any other questions, we have a few more minutes, 7 more minutes of the session. Donna, you're muted.
You mentioned there's an Italian publisher of Kamishibai. Is it called Arte Bambini? I'm not sure of the name, but are they Kamishibai stories that are available are they sold online or?
Yeah, Arte Bambini, I think, is the most important Kamishibai editors at the moment. You can find many other Kamishibai publisher, for example, Raffaello and many others. But the most important are at the moment are Arte Bambini, and yeah, they have a lot of stories. They make a lot of educational purposes with Kamishibai and less performances. But yeah, probably now they have most of the stories public in Italian nowadays. They sell them online. Yeah, and there is also a Francesco story, 2 Francesco stories published by after Arte Bambini. One about a dream made by Marc Chagall, the artist, called Il sogno di Marc, the dream of Marc. And the other one is about the tangram, the geometrical game, and that's the story of Q and his kite. Q lost his kite and tried to find him. But the wind broke it into many small pieces, and with some wind, when the fantastic thought of Q, the kite takes more shapes, like a turtle, like a horse, or like a running boy. And yeah, these are the 2 stories of published by Arte Bambini of Francesco also.
Thank you. And Mane Blue just added Stravagarte.
Yes.
Yeah, also Stravagarte.
Also Italy. They also do workshop. I did a workshop with them with Zoom. I was in Kenya and they were in Italy, and invented also a lot of stories.
Yeah.
And do several type of butai. They are very great. They are a couple and they're very lovely too. Yeah.
Yeah, also Stravagarte, pretty good. Yeah.
You did a wonderful presentation of your collaboration as a family and combining Italian art forms with Kamishibai. I know you've also been involved with the AKI, the Italian Association of Kamishibai. Could you talk a little bit about that and whether people can join or what their mission is?
Well, we started knowing the Kamishibai with AKI, with the Italian Association of Kamishibai, and we also make a lot of internet meeting, Zoom meeting about Kamishibai, especially in the World Kamishibai Day on the 7th December. And they also make a lot of activities in schools and libraries. I was in charge of organizing them many years ago. Yeah, they still make some activities, and also organize every year the World Kamishibai Day meeting online. Yeah, that's it.
They welcome members from outside Italy, or how does that?
Most of them are from Italy. They're quietly known in Bologna and a bit in the north of Italy. So they're most of the people joining them are Italian. Yeah.
I want to thank you all. This hour and a half has gone by very quickly. It was fascinating. And I just want to run through quickly again, for those who came late, our upcoming events. So in April, on April 19th, we will have a group from Chile talking about Kamishibai work there. May 17th, Yumi Izuyama and Tere Farfan Garcia from Mexico. They've been in other of our workshops. They'll talk about a collaboration that they have done together. And then we have two upcoming dojos, July 26th at 1 p.m. and August 16th at 7 p.m. So I hope all of you who are creating stories will share with the audience. And if you want to have feedback, it's a really great opportunity to try out new material. So if you're interested in those opportunities, please contact Donna. But thank you again to our presenters today, Francesco, Daniele. Thank you so much for a fabulous
Thank you very much.
hour and a half. And I think you've inspired everybody. So thank you. Hope to see
Thank you very much.